Hello. Happy Sunday. All right, we got to get into this conversation about Brett Favre, a follow-up conversation thanks to I don't know if you're subscribed, but someone left me a comment on my last video. You can check that out. It's something like Brand's Quiet Quit on Brett Favre. I think that's the title. Anywho, someone messaged me about a particular company that has not quit Favre. So that's what I want to get into. Let me give it a minute so I can let folks know that I am live, and then I will be right back. Okay, we're back. Okay, let me get into Brett. So who is Brett Favre? If you didn't watch my last video, Brett Favre is a former NFL football star. I believe he was a quarterback of most recently the Green Bay Packers. You all know I'm not a sports person. I'm following this story for different reasons. He has been accused of using welfare funds in Mississippi, one of the poorest states in the United States of America, to fund, get this, a volleyball center for his alma mater of University of Mississippi, and also where his daughter apparently played volleyball. So he has been accused of using welfare funds like TANF, for example, which are funds that, obviously go to families in need, to use to fund a volleyball center at his alma mater university. Now, I've worked within donations of universities when I was in college, and that's not how it works. We reach out, we ask our past alumni to fund different projects at a school, and they should be giving out of their own pockets to donate. Obviously, there are certain benefits that they get out of that too. This scenario is it's sad because I don't live in Mississippi, but these are technically my neighbors. I'm in Texas, and I feel for other people in my country. So it's to think that people may not have gotten whatever they need in Mississippi. And again, we're following the whole situation of a lot of folks, in Jackson, Mississippi, didn't have clean water to drink. And then we hear about this type of scandal, and it makes me think of what else is going on there. Who else isn't getting funding, right? So anyway, all of this is alleged. These are accusations. Now, there are reports. The first report I saw was ABC News reporting on this scenario. But I do want to get into the brand, because in the last video I talked about the brands that were quitting Brett Favre quietly. And this one brand, thanks to someone's comment, I found out based on reports, at least today, and as of yesterday, they are not quitting on Brett Favre. They're not quitting on him. And hello, Shar. Hello, Swoop. Hello, Teddy. Hello, Barry. Hello. That's how we operate as well. Welfare queens operate differently, though, too. Exactly. So this is a man. Now, I have quoted that he has made $130+ million just from football. And then yesterday we walked through all the brands that he has been working with. So that's not even counting the money from that. $130+ million. But when we have folks that are in need, we're judging them. We don't really want to give them the money. Anywho, so let's get into sharing this article that I want to highlight. I do want to quickly show who Brett Favre is, just in case you were like me, you're not a sports person, you have no idea who in the world we're talking about. You just want to show his face. I did include it in the thumbnail, of course, but he is up here as well. I'm going to put him up on the screen so you can see his face, you know what he looks like and all that. So this is him, right? And when you go to the news for him, you see really only about this incident. Market Watch, retired NFL great Brett Favre must return $828,000 he promised to pay back. I am going to get into that article too. ESPN suspends Brett Favre on radio segment, right? So you see all these different reports. Mississippi welfare scandal. There we go. Now I got more into those details in the other video. If you want to check it out, I did it yesterday. And let's highlight this though. So we see who Brett Favre is. We see him right there. Let's get into this brand that actually defended Brett and said in quotes, based on the article that I will show, in their opinion, he is a very decent man. Now, multiple things can be true at the same time, right? A lot can be true. Someone may show a certain side to me that's wonderful, yet at the same time may have committed whatever crime, right? And I only know that side of them. So that's fine, but I do feel like these brands should take this scenario seriously until we figure out what is actually going on here legally. So let me highlight this. I'm going to bring up the article, which is by, let me see the name of it. Oh boy, this is crazy. Did any of you know about this scandal before? That's also what I want to know. But the title of the article is "This Company is Still Sticking by Brett Favre." This is from Deadspin.com. I do not know about Deadspin.com, but I'm just noting the source here. This is not coming from me. Despite allegations that the former quarterback accepted millions diverted from welfare benefits, he hasn't been dropped by an athletic apparel brand. Right? And let's get into it. As the misdeeds of Brett Favre continue to worsen, the image of the clean-cut Packers quarterback has deteriorated from all sane walks of life. Tag in Copperfit, this is the name of the brand, a brand of copper-infused athletic apparel designed to help reduce soreness and increase productivity, who you might have seen from infomercials or put on a pedestal by Farve, one of the company's brand champions. The link tree for Copperfit still blasts out Brett Favre's favorite product. So they still have him on their site, it sounds like, and has a 20% off coupon when landing on his personalized apparel page. So that tells me that there's still some money being sent. So if someone uses that coupon code, Brett Favre is still getting his cut, is what it sounds like to me based on that. The company has made the decision to stick by him. The allegations that Favre, again, you have to note allegations at this point, the allegations that Favre accepted millions diverted from welfare benefits intended for families in order to fund a volleyball arena in Mississippi are widespread. And I do want to note that reports say that it is a volleyball arena or center for his alma mater, his school, where his daughter went to school, right? It wasn't for just the people of Mississippi, from my understanding, right? Okay, unless there's more details to come. Add in Wednesday's revelation that the former head of Mississippi's welfare agency, John Davis, entered into a plea agreement with federal and state prosecutors regarding Favre's case. It turned heads, to say the least. Now it's worth pondering if anyone was toned up enough to stick by Favre. Because yesterday we highlighted all the brands that were silently stepping away from Brett. So Copperfit says they worked with Brett for nearly 9 years. He has always acted honorably, keyword, okay, so he's always acted honorably according to them, and we know him to be a very decent man. The company's statement read on Front Office Sports. To our knowledge, he was cleared of any wrongdoing 2 years ago. We are confident that will be the case in this civil lawsuit or civil suit. Well, and they say a little word that I'm not going to say. Turns out some people can only fall from grace so far. Wonder how long this will eventually take to backtrack. If Farve was one of Copperfit's other two brand champions of Jerry Rice or Gwyneth Paltrow, would the company have chosen to stick by the greatest receiver of all time or the Oscar winner for Shakespeare in Love? That is a good question. Would they have supported Gwyneth Paltrow? I'm just going to note, white woman. And isn't Jerry Rice black? Do I know that right? Because listen, I'm not sports. I think he's in sports. Greatest receiver of all time. So sports, isn't he a black man? Let me know if I'm wrong. Just wondering. And it may, obviously 9 years of a relationship can be hard to step away from, but these are very serious accusations, right? And we talked about in a video yesterday about Cam Newton and Deshaun Watson. What do they have in common? They didn't have a case like this, but I remember them being in the news and brands were dropping like flies. So it's interesting that at least one brand is stepping up and saying, hey, we're sticking by them, according to this report. And then other brands didn't really publicly do as much from what I saw. It's interesting. All right. So they do highlight here, it doesn't take a genius to figure out why Favre's story isn't transcending sports as Colin Kaepernick or Ime Udoka's did. If you're guessing because at the time of their most prominent incident, they were a current figure in sports, you're wrong. The All-American, willing to do the mundane, boots in the ground are of Farve, played out throughout the NFL, the pedestal raised Sports League of Americana, okay, plays true here as well. What other prototype of athlete would have a company stick by him if everything reported on Favre's actions becomes true? Right. Interesting. So that was reported by Deadspin.com. They do have other notes in here, but that was the majority of the article. They did say Copperfit is far from the only company to have Favre on his payroll, though he has yet to be charged in the matter. It appears Copperfit is the only one to definitively stick by him during this period. Others who's propped up Farve in the past weeks include SiriusXM, where Farve last appeared on air September 13, and Hallow, a Catholic prayer and meditation app, which hasn't replied to FOS for comment as of. That was the other thing. In my last video, I talked about a lot of the brands were not coming out to comment, which I can understand that because they don't really know how it's accusations at this point, but they're very serious accusations. So I would imagine they have to say something because they've been working with this man for a long time and eyes are going to be turned to them too. Anywho, that's what that report was on. I want to highlight this other thing too. Hello, Zero. Hey. Oh, thank you. You like the dress? I actually don't really like this dress. I like the color of it, but I don't like the fit. It fits very oddly in places. I'll just leave it at that. But it's like the suggestion for me was to go smaller. I don't think I could have gone smaller. But it's big on me in weird places. Anywho, hello, Bradley. Hey. Zero says NFL players can keep all their endorsement deals during the scandal as long as you're white, apparently. That was said by Zero. Note, I didn't say it, but obviously that is what the article is alluding to. All right, so let's get into, I saw your last comment, Zero. So let's get into this next piece. So this is by Market Watch. So their highlight is retired NFL great Brett Favre must return $828,000 he promised to pay back or face legal action, Mississippi officials say. Now, this was posted on October 16th or updated on October 16th last year and first published October 13th of 2021, so last year. It says the NFL Hall of Famer needs to pay back speaking fees connected to a welfare spending scandal. And this is according to Mississippi's auditors. This is on Market Watch. And that is a big face of Brett Favre right there, in case you didn't know what he looks like. In the caption, it says Brett Favre hasn't been accused of any wrongdoing. That was last year. But auditors say he received $1.1 million in misspent money from a welfare fund, some of which he has paid back. So they are noting that some of which he has paid back. It's turning into a costly penalty. Officials investigating a welfare spending scandal in Mississippi have demanded that NFL Hall of Fame quarterback Brett Favre pay back $828,000 in speaking fees that he had vowed to return, but has yet to pony up. Oh my gosh. Or he's going to face that legal action. So, and then in the other video yesterday, we went back to 2014, 15, 16, 17. So folks have been tracking this information. Okay, Favre has not been accused of any wrongdoing, they say again, but had been swept up in an embezzlement scandal involving $94 million in federal welfare funds through the Temporary Assistance for Needy program, TANF, which is what we saw yesterday. After auditors determined he was paid for speeches with some of that cash. And again, Mississippi, a state that is not, this isn't one of our most wealthiest states. It's one of our most poorest states. They need that money. I assume I don't live there, but I can feel for people there that need that money. It's time for the taxpayers to attempt to recover what we lost, is what Mississippi State Auditor Shad White says. An audit showed that Favre's company, Farve Enterprises, was paid $1.1 million in 2017 and 2018 to promote an anti-poverty initiative. As a part of that, Favre was supposed to have made 3 speeches, but the audit determined that he never gave them. He didn't even give the speeches, according to this article from Market Watch. Favre, who hails from Mississippi, and that's something else to point out. He went to school in Mississippi. I understand he's from Mississippi. How does someone, like, I'm from Missouri. I'm not trying to go back there and get over on Missouri folks. And again, he was a quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. Quarterback, they make the money, right? Made over $130 million reported. It could have been even more than that. That's just what I see. Anywho, so Favre, who hails from Mississippi, said in 2020 that he didn't know the money he received had been drawn from the welfare funds. Now note, this is what I've heard in news reports, that there are text messages, and we looked at that yesterday too, text messages that say otherwise, allegedly, right? So, but he's, in 2020, said that he didn't know that the money he had received had been drawn from the welfare funds, and that he would never knowingly do anything to take away those that need it most. So, you know, folks can take him at his word for it, but if there's evidence that is, you know, contradictory to that, that's what we're going to be getting into. So we got to follow this case. After Favre's involvement surfaced in 2020, he paid back $500,000, but officials say he has yet to give back the rest. Favre was under no legal obligations to do so. That's a good thing to know. But had promised to give the money back, including interest on the other $600,000. Favre now owes the state $828,000, according to the auditor's office. Favre played 20 seasons in the NFL, mostly for the Green Bay Packers, earning over $140. Oh, I stand corrected. They're saying $140 million, not $130 million. So this was over the course of his career. He retired after the 2010 season and was inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame in 2016. Favre's agent, Bus Cook, didn't immediately respond to a message-seeking comment. Interesting. Interesting, right? Oh, man. Mississippi State Auditor Chad White said that he has sent demand letters to numerous people who appear to have been inappropriately paid as a part of the welfare scandal in an effort to recoup $77 million of the misspent money. It's time for taxpayers to attempt to recover what we lost, he said. If the money is not paid back within 30 days, White said the state attorney general could pursue civil charges against Farve and the others. Among those, White said, owed money include a ministry run by former professional wrestler Ted the $1 Million Man DiBiase. I don't know if I'm saying that right. DeBays, I'll say it that way. DeBays Sr. and his sons, Ted DeBays Jr. and Brett DeBays, as well as college football great Marcus Dupree. Marcus Dupree sounds like, I just want to look them up because these names are, I'm like, what do these folks look like? I want to know. Because, I mean, I have to be balanced. If folks are saying, hey, he's getting treated because he's a white man, well, I have to figure out, well, is everyone in this scandal, are all these white men? Are there women in here? I think there's a woman involved too, based on our findings from yesterday. So it may just be more of the, hey, we know this guy. He would never do anything. We've got almost 10 years with him. No way. We don't believe it. He's got this upstanding image. There's no way. We don't believe it. And maybe it just takes longer for a white man, right, for folks to believe it. That's just what I'm seeing. Now, Marcus Dupree, this is what he looks like. So I will leave it up to you because you all know me. I'm not going to immediately just say, hey, you're getting treated differently because you're X, Y, and Z, fill in the blank. I want to look at all the information. Now, this is what they look like. Just going to share this. Let me stop sharing for a second. Zero is saying, no, he didn't do the speeches. They said he gave the money back, but he owes interest on it, though. Right. Yes, text message from him, a.k.a. Brett. This was self-inflicted. And one of the text messages that we looked at yesterday, it started with something like, I don't know if this is legal or not. And I'm just like, who starts off a conversation with, I don't know if it's legal or not? If you're questioning if it's legal, I want to say it's probably not. Just a guess. It's pronounced DBIC. DBIC. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Teddy. I'm fumbling over the name. I've never heard this name in my life. DBIC. Hi, Bionic Scoop. Welcome. All right, so I got to show what he looks like. Some of you already know probably what he looks like because you might be in the sports world. Y'all know I'm not in the sports world. You know this. Some of you don't know, but you know. Barry knows, Teddy knows. But this is Marcus Dupree. They're including him into this mix. He grew up in Philadelphia, Mississippi. I'm not going to include him in this because in my view, all eyes should be on Brett Favre because he's the one being told he needs to get so much money paid back. But just I gotta know all the information I'm seeing here, right? Back to Market Watch. So let me look at Ted DBC. I've already lost it. DBC. Y'all, I'm already really bad with names. So the other guy, I gotta be fair. I have to share both of the guys here. This is the other guy, DBIC. Y'all, the struggle is real. The struggle. Okay, we got to show him too because this is him. He's a professional wrestler. He's not in the football world. So this is DBIC right there. So he's involved in this. American former professional wrestler, both known for his time in WWE. I've never watched wrestling. Just never my thing. My dad didn't force me to watch wrestling, so he kind of forced me to watch boxing a little bit. Definitely basketball. And he forced me to, like, not force, but, you know, he's watching basketball, we're watching basketball. He's watching boxing, we're watching boxing. He wants to play chess, teach me how to play chess. I'm learning the chess, you know. You know how it goes. Okay, Dad. Love to my dad, though, you know. Okay, I'm rambling. But anyway, that is Ted. Also involved in this shenanigans. All right, let me bring up Market Watch. This is wild. I'm going to cut it off, though. I don't want this to be too long. So all those folks, they also were saying, so let me just read this again. If the money is not paid back within 30 days, was what they were saying. White said the state attorney general could pursue civil charges against Farve and the others. And so we are getting at who the others are. So there are more than this, but it includes former professional wrestler Ted the $1 Million Man DiBiase and his sons Ted DiBiase. Oh, maybe this guy, maybe they're all, I guess they're all in professional wrestling. Anywho. And Marcus Dupree. Several people, including the former head of Mississippi's welfare agency and Brett DiBiase, were indicted in state court last year on fraud and embezzlement charges. DiBiase later pled guilty. Two of the people indicted on state charges have also been indicted. Listen, this is leading. It's looking guilty to me. It's looking guilty to me. These are who you were with. This is your crew. So that's my thoughts on it. I think it's really sad and very unfortunate that in one of the poorest states, this type of scenario is going down. It makes me think, what else is happening there? Why is there no clean drinking water? Is this why? Because everyone's just funneling some of the money around to meet their own needs, although they're already wealthy? Anywho, let me look at some comments and I'm going to close it out because we are at time. Zero said, let's go with the story that person thought he was an upstanding man. So I just talked about that with Copperfit. That was with Deadspin. I'm going to link these articles today. I'm going to remember today to link them. Barry said, yep, I was dying when I saw that. I don't know if it's legal. Dude, you have millions in the bank. Stop playing games. Barry, exactly. Don't worry, we know his dad very well. Okay, because I'm like, I don't know these people. The Bionic Scoop says that's Junior. We don't know if he still has millions or not. Good point. We don't know. We don't know that. But do you know how many brands are working with this guy? Listen, check out the video I did yesterday because he has a deal with ESPN. He's got this deal with Copperfin. He's got, what was it, Percussus. He's had so many brand deals. So he's making money. Like, even if he doesn't have the millions and millions, I don't know, he has income coming in. He's not in a state where he's begging for dollars by any means, from my view, from what we're seeing. Ted DiBiase was one of my favorite wrestlers. Oh, you were into wrestling. See, yeah, I never got into that. I was a girly girl pretty much. Unless my dad had me watching some stuff. I did like basketball for a short period of time. I wanted to try gymnastics for a little bit, but and then I did cheerleading for a very split second, and I did track for a very split second. I tried to be athletic, y'all. I tried. No clean drinking water because Brett Favre and his pals steal from the. Seriously. That's what I think. Anyway, we have problems. We have problems in this country. I'm gonna close it out. My heart just goes out for the folks in Mississippi that are really struggling. They need this type of support, and they're seeing these type of articles come out now. I think if all these accusations are true, he needs to pay back this money at the end of the day. plus the interest, like that auditor was saying. That is definitely what needs to happen. Now, note the article that we just saw from Market Watch, that was from 2021, October 2021, last year. And things are like progressing and we're getting more and more information today. So Copperfin was the brand. Is it Copperfin or Copperfit? Hold on. Just to close out the topic. So the company that is still sticking by Brett Favre is called Copperfit. And they are an apparel company. They're focused on athletic apparel designed to help reduce soreness and increase productivity. That is the only brand that I've seen so far that is obviously publicly has come out to defend him and said he, Brett Favre, is a very decent man, in their opinion. And by quote, to close it out, if I can find it, Copperfit has worked with Brett Favre for nearly 9 years. He has always acted honorably, and we know him to be a very decent man. The company's statement read on Front Office Sports, to our knowledge, he was cleared of any wrongdoing 2 years ago. We are confident that will be the case in the civil lawsuit. We'll see how things progress with that. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all later. I am doing a quick resume review. I'm hoping that will be a series, so if you're interested in that, let me know. I'm going to keep it really short and to the point. So check that out at 4 p.m. Central or 5 p.m. Eastern today if you're interested. Bye, lovely people. Thanks for joining.